Good morning to all and everyone present here. Today on Basant Panchami, I welcome you all on behalf of India Insurtech Association and BIMTECH. As we all know that Industrial Revolution 4.0 is here and technology is transforming each and every sector, including insurance. It has been very slow, but now with Insurtech, things are changing with artificial intelligence, machine learning, blockchain, robotics. All the process of insurance is changing. Either it's claim, underwriting, including distribution. For a long time, a common man related to insurance with a agent only. एक अंकल आएंगे, वो आएंगे घर पे, चाय देंगे और पॉलिसी के बारे में बताएंगे. But as generations are changing, millennials, Gen Z, we want everything to be a click on phone, buy everything in on phone. So to put more light on Insurtech, I would like to introduce our guest today, Dr. Manish Jha. Dr. Jha is a Group Director, Sales and Marketing of BRIisk Limited, a global Insurtech company headquartered at London and present in 22 countries across Asia, Africa, and Middle East. He is also Managing Director of BRIisk India, 100% subsidiary of BRIisk Limited. In this role, he is responsible for market disruption, product innovation. He has completed doctorate in digital marketing. He had also done executive program in business leadership from IIM Calcutta, a merit distinction in his engineering. Sir has overall 15 plus years of experience in strategic consulting, digital transformation, sales leadership across enterprise solutions. Sir has also led many big organizations like HDFC Bank, Max Bupa, Mahindra Partners, and also incubated innovative leadership for startup like bankbazaar.com. He has also served as youngest shadow board member of Mahindra Partner containing 15 companies under him. Mr. Jha has been recently awarded as Asia One Most 40 Influential Leader under 40. He has also been associated with various prestigious institutions like National Skill Development Council, National Industrial Security Academy, Sector Skill Council, and many more. Manish sir is passionate about Digital India and Skill India and loves to help millennials on employment skill development. He has mentored more than 10,000 students by guiding them to right career path. He has also received an award for innovation and financial inclusion at Drivers for Digital Award in the year 2020 for his contribution to millennials. On this note, sir, I would like you to guide us millennials on today's topic, technology, the new enabler of insurance distribution. To you, sir.
Thank you, Charu. Hope I am audible, and good morning once again.
Good morning, sir. Yes, sir, you are
audible, sir.
All right. So thank you, Manoj sir, everybody at BIMTECH. Thank you, Shobha and team, Indian Insurance Association. BRIisk is a part of Indian Insurance Association. All right. So what is Saturday morning? So when I was speaking to Dr. Pandey last week, he said, "Okay, Saturday." I said, "Okay." Generally, our days goes very monotonic. Morning till evening meetings and meetings. But today I feel very young, meeting so many young, and aspiring millennials. I wish I could have been in your campus and could have spoken, but anyways, better luck next time for me and as well as for you. So two disclaimer for my 45 minutes of talk. One is, if you like my session, you can come to my LinkedIn page. You can follow me. I'm not there on Facebook, WhatsApp, or other social media. You can come on LinkedIn page and follow me. If you don't like my session, you can blame Charu, on a lighter side. But I'm sure that situation should not happen. So without wasting much time, since it's a virtual presentation, I would like to share text so that we can be aligned and we can be on the same pace while I'm talking, and you guys can hear me out. And also, good to see people were talking in Hindi today, because most of the time I don't get opportunity to speak settled in South. Most of the time you speak in English or the vernacular languages here. So you guys can speak in any language, and I would love to answer at the end of the presentation. And before my presentation, it's a very auspicious day, and happy Vasant Panchami to all of you. So with that note, let me share my screen. I'm sure you guys must have given me the right. Let me see. Yeah. Is my deck visible to all of you?
Yes,
I think it should come. Yeah. All right. So, since Charu has already spoken about the profile, I am not here to repeat it again. A few testimony, but again, that is should not repeat. Rather, I'll talk about the company in a brief 2 to 3 minutes of the time. So yes, I represent a company called BRIisk Insurtech, spread across India, Africa, and Middle East. And if you see, she spoke about Insurtech, but let me tell you, any business, the purpose is very important, because purpose and the belief system about any business basically leads the way you drive the entire behavior and the business's mission, vision, and the entire culture. And we are very clear at BRIisk that we want to empower financial inclusion. So in a very nutshell way, since all of you are students, let me reframe my languages in a very, very simple language. The financial inclusion is basically an event where you try to minimize the gap between the rich and the poor. And that's what we basically want to empower financial inclusion, and where in emerging and developing markets. So we don't aspire to go to US or maybe most of the countries in Europe. And that's where our presence are spread across India, Africa, and Middle East, because they are emerging and developing markets. And how I define emerging and developing markets is basically those markets where the telecom penetration has gone very high in a recent time. However, unfortunately, the insurance penetration is still trailing between 3 to 5%. And that's what our purpose is, to empower financial inclusion in emerging and developing markets. And how? By efficiently distributing affordable insurance and financial services to niche, but also underserved people and businesses. And this is what our purpose is. So I'm not here to speak more about company, but it's very important for you to know that what we do. Some of the credentials. So BRIisk is not a startup. It was formed, it evolved around 2016, and we started with developing our platform, developing our product. So if you see typically a tech company, whether it is a PaaS company or SaaS company, there are typically of two types. One is the product driven, basically tech company, like could be Salesforce, and other is basically services based tech company, could be Accenture or maybe TCS. So we are in between. So we have the product called BRIisk ITP, and we also provide a lot of consulting, what generally McKinsey, Ernst & Young or BCG does, but typically on the insurance space. So we have received so many accolades in the recent past. So we have been awarded as top 100 insurtech companies in the world. We were also featured in Disrupt Africa. We are also ISO 27001 certified, because this is very important, because keeping data security, cyber security, and being a tech company is very important. So that's what we do. And there are a few projects that we are running. So I'll talk about SureBuddy maybe in my following slide, while giving you some examples from disruption in tech. However, these are the projects that we are running all across Africa, India. So close to our 60% of businesses happen in Africa. And so whether it is South Africa or Ghana or Kenya or Zambia or Tanzania or Nigeria, or in Middle East, we are doing the pet insurance work in Turkey and Azerbaijan. And of course, the India is our emerging market and focus market for the coming years and months. All right, so that's about the company. We can discuss more about company, if time permits, and in case if you guys have any questions. Otherwise, I would love to take offline. You can visit our website, know more about it. However, since I was thinking that how I should take this presentation, and I thought, the best way to connect the topic called technology is to, go ahead with some of the real examples that happen in the businesses. And that's where I thought to show, this slide to you guys. That I don't know how many of you correlate this slide, but this slide is very important from the businesses angle. And since most of you are business guys, I'm not here to talk only insurance, but rather I'm here to talk more, which is more relevant to the students like you. So if you see at some point of time, ambassador cars, were the symbol of royalty. Most of the bureaucrats, politicians, they used to use ambassadors cars. Hindustan Motors in Calcutta used to be very famous. Rajdoot. If you ask your mom and dad, they used to say, yeah, Rajdoot was a symbol of, we used to get dowries or gifts from our in-laws, and Rajdoot used to be like macho, example for most of the people in that era. Nokia, more than 80% of the market share in the entire world. Yahoo, one of the disruptor at its time. BSNL, monopoly across India. HMT watches, very famous. And similarly, Kodak, more than 30,000, employees. Where are these companies today? Walkman was a symbol of, basically a music instrument. Where are these companies today? They are not there. They are not there. Shiva, if you can put yourself on mute, please. Yeah. Where are these companies now? Today, Ambassador Car is not there. Rajdoot is not there. Nokia has been sold. BSNL is almost dying. They have a big, NPAs, HMT watches are no more. What do you think? What could have been the issue? The issue was with the market share, or with the market capitalization, or with the shareholders, or with the employees. Employees were not working, their revenue were not good, their customers were not happy. What was the reason? And trust me, answer were none. And you can guess the answer from the topic itself. However, let me not come to the individual case studies here, and I'm sure most of you know this. Okay, when the Maruti 800 were coming as a light, weight car, giving more mileage, where the CT100 by Honda were coming in a market, they were not ready to change. Nokia said, why should I change? And the Samsung and the Apples of the world, they said, hey, touch is the future and we are going to use everything on the finger. They were not ready to change. So what was this change about? Was it change about the people, with the process, or with the tech? However, taking my discussion forward, if you see few of the examples like Uber, Facebook, PolicyBazaar.com, Paytm, Netflix, Amazon, Airbnb, most of these companies you may not have been knowing 10 years ago, or even if you would have been knowing, you would have never thought that they would become like, Omnicom of the world. Today they dominate, they don't compete. Uber, the biggest taxi company of the world. They don't manufacture their own taxis. Recently they started, but previously they did not own any taxis. Facebook is the biggest media company of the world. They don't own their own content. They don't write their content. PolicyBazaar.com, the biggest selling insurance online. They don't manufacture insurance. Amazon, they don't manufacture their products. Airbnb, the biggest hotel company of the world. They are not the Marriotts of the world. They are not Taj of the world. So guys, what is happening? Yatra.com, the biggest air ticketing was used to happen along with Make My Trip or Yatra.com. They are not Indigos of the world or SpiceJets of the world. So if you just connect these two slides so there were the companies which were very prominent, they were dominating, they were the market leaders, their market capitalization were high, they had a very strong brand equity, their customers were very happy, they had a lot of employees, and they failed. On the other hand, there are the companies which did not have the product itself. They had only the tech-enabled business models. And today, most of them are flourishing. I did not write, a few of the edtech companies like Byju's or Unacademy, or, since most of your students, you will correlate it. They are not manufacturing the products, but still they are becoming unicorns. And guys, that's where I talk about the technology. Maybe one specific example, if you see Airbnb, which I spoke, Airbnb don't manufacture the hotels. But today, if you see what Marriott has done in 88 years, they have done to 4 years. Look at the penetration that Airbnb has today, 192 countries versus 80 countries of Marriott, which is almost 100 years old. 650,000 rooms for Airbnb versus 697,000 rooms in the last 88 years. And guys, what is the reason? And you know the reason. And they say that Marriott wants to add 30,000 rooms this year. We will add that in next 2 weeks. And this guy dominates. He doesn't compete. So guys, business is all about domination, and that's where the disruption happens. And I'm not sure how many of you understand disruption. Disruption cannot happen top to bottom. Disruption happens from bottom to top. And that's where Geos of the world, Paytms of the world, Bajus of the world, they are growing bottom to top. And what if you need to go bottom to top, you cannot do it without tech. And that's where Insurtech is doing. That's where FinTech is going on. So all of us today are talking about disruption and innovation. So if you ask me, unlike 10 years before, where you need to have product, then you need to have productization, then you need to have the product marketing management, and then you need to sell, and then you need to do the customer delight, and that's where the value chain comes back. Today, above all, the platform is very important. How you connect the entire value chain is very important. And that's where, for example, another example, maybe from India, Geo. Today, I'm not here to talk Geo's, basically how Geo came in the market and what Geo did. I'm here just to tell you the impact of Geo today in market. So I'm not here to criticize other telecom companies or advocate Geo. I'm not a brand ambassador of Geo. However, just to give you the impact that Geo has created today. Today you go to rural part of India. I'm from Bihar. I must tell you this. Today you go to any village across India and you see even the housewives, they just open WhatsApp and they chat on WhatsApp. They they watch the videos on YouTube. Most of the students, most of the folks, most of the millennials, they are on YouTube every time. May not be doing time pass, but they are also learning. So today, YouTube as a company, today WhatsApp as a company, today Facebook as a company, all these companies, they have grown because today data is free, almost. And thanks to Geo, I don't know. So if you ask me, 4.0 revolution in India, if you ask me today, Geo is not only making the revenue, but Geo has actually transformed the way most of the businesses run in the country, whether it is BFSI or tech or healthcare or media or smart city, everything is on phone. Imagine if your phone says that, okay, you need to pay 10 rupees per GB or 100 rupees per GB, data. I don't know how many of us will pay. And that's where it is very important to give the credit what Geo has done. I'm not here to say that, what is their motive, disruption. But if you ask me the example of disruption that I showed you, like, Airbnb, another example is Geo. So guys, this is very important. And since all of us live in India, there are two parts of India, Bharat and India, and they coexist. While we are talking today, most of you must be, I don't know, maybe the golden spoon in your mouth where your mom and dad is providing you the education, sponsoring your education, or they must have given you the, help to get you the education loan. There is a segment of people who are not even accessible to the higher education. 1.3 billion of Indian population, 60% of the population are below 25 years. They are young people like you. Problem is they don't get employment, even if they get degree. Biggest problem in India today. The second biggest problem is rickshawala needs a loan, he doesn't get a loan. A farmer needs a loan, he doesn't get a loan because he's not able to suffice all the 16 documents what a bank requires. He's not able to produce Form 16. He's not able to produce, income tax return. And bank says, hey, I understand that you have income, but I cannot provide you the loan. And the same guy goes to, NBFCs or, the interest guys, and they pay 25% rate of interest, and they take loan. On the other hand, Nirav Modi's story and Vijay Mallya's story. So guys, you need to understand, until you have the financial products which are accessible to every Indian in India, and doesn't matter whether he has basically income proof or not. And that's where so many fintech companies are coming into picture, and they are trying to solve this particular problem. So what is happening? What I'm trying to tell you that today, if you ask to any investor, we keep doing the fundraising and we keep talking to a lot of angel investors, a lot of pre-A series investors, a lot of venture capitalists. And trust me, any investor, while we talk, they say that, hey, we are very much interested in either fintech or insurtech or edtech. Why do you think that there is a name called fintech? Insurtech, edtech, right? There's a tech, right? Why we call it as a fintech, insurtech, or a tech, which I'll come in the following slides. But let me tell you, these are the industries which you will also look forward to work with, because they are the flourishing industries. They provide the maximum employment at this point of time. They are the future of any businesses today. And all these companies, they are enabled by tech. So for example, now what does edtech do? Today I'm speaking to all of you. You guys are there in Greater Noida. I'm in Hyderabad, and I'm able to impart my learnings or share my experience to you virtually. Most of the edtech does this, whether it is LMS or whether it is a live sessions or whether it is a objection handling or whether it is through mobile app. Insurtech. So there are insurance companies, there are tech companies. And guys, I would love to answer your questions in case if you'll say that, hey, sir, why there is a need of having a different fintech companies where Accenture can do everything being a tech company, Salesforce can do everything being a tech company. Why there is a need of fintech? Why there is a need of edtech? And I'll answer that question. However, I leave this, basically thought for you guys to brainstorm this. Having said that, let me talk insurance, because that's the topic and what I need to say. And this insurance story is not only for India, but most of the emerging market are like this. You go to Africa, most of the African countries are like India. Typically Nigeria is like second India. So if you ask me today, the insurance is sold, not bought. Unfortunately, nobody gets up in the morning saying that, hey, today I'll buy insurance. Nobody gets up, trust me, So what is happening? And insurance, let me give you some stats. There are 24 life insurance companies, 28 general insurance companies, 6 standalone health insurance companies, all these companies, right? But still, less than 3% of Indian population have insurance. And why they have insurance, that 3% also? Because of motor insurance, which is two-wheeler and four-wheeler. And why they buy two-wheeler insurance or four-wheeler insurance? Because if they will not buy, cops will catch them. It's a mandatory. So guys, what I'm trying to say, there are 54, 56 companies in India, still putting together, all of them are also not able to solve the problem of insurance in India. Where was the issue? Why do you think that Insurtech companies like BRIisk or Discovery or Turtle Mint or Digit or CoverFox, they are coming in India in a big way? Because insurance companies, they are not able to solve. And it is not the problem maybe with one or two companies. I don't want to take any names, but just for example, let's say Bharti Exa or Birla or any of these companies, they were not able to solve the problem. That's where Insurtech companies are coming. So do you think that Insurtech companies are substitute to insurance? Answer is no. Insurance companies are the manufacturers. Unfortunately, they don't know how to sell, because they just copy the distribution. So the distributor is different and the product owner is different. And the product owners are the insurance companies. And typically what they do, they manufacture the product, they does the underwriting, and they do the claim, and they do the policy servicing and the policy customer services. But who is selling those insurance policies? Most of the time, it is not the insurance companies who are selling the insurance policies. Most of the time, it is primarily sold by either an agent or a bank or a broker or an online broker or maybe the aggregator. So most of the time, the insurer and the distributor are two different things. So it is getting into a kind of FMCG space where ITC don't sell. It is the Bania store which sells the ITC product. So guys, that's where you need to understand where is the issue in insurance. The problem with the insurance is what you need as a customer, you don't get it because it is dominated by the distributor. So it's a channel driven, it's not a customer driven. Whereas it should have been the other way around, that in case if you need this, you should get this, everything on your mobile. The other problem in insurance is there is a issue, there is a lack of education. They don't understand the product. And why they don't understand the product? Because it is not simplified. And that's where tech will play a very, very vital role in simplifying insurance. If you see, our logo itself says that we simplify insurance. We simplify the problem of distribution. So going for, and the third important thing that you should know is today, the 80% of market share in insurance in India or most of the emerging countries, they are dominated by the top 20 insurer. Means there is a huge polarization which happens. So if let's say top 5 players are there in India, they will remain the top 5 for the next 5 years, because bottom 5, they are no more. They are contributing less than 1% of the market share. And there are 14 insurance companies in India. Their market share, lies between 0.4% to 1.2%. On the other hand, LICs of the world, SBIs of the world, and IPRU or the SDFCs of the world, they have more than, close to 10% and above penetration. Of course, LIC is a wrong example, apple with orange. They have been in the market since 1956 and the other players came 2000 plus. However, still the market share of top 5 players are quite high. And this is again the problem with the trailing insurance companies. What does that mean? Do you think that those companies' products are bad? Trust me, guys, insurance is a category. So everybody has the term policy, everybody has endowment policy, everybody has ULIP policy. Maybe 1 or 2% return here and there, maybe 1 or 2% pricing here and there. People can copy the product, people can also copy the pricing. So where is the issue? Why there are top 5 players which are remaining the top, why there are bottom 5 players which are remaining the bottom? And that's where this is not the problem about insurance as a whole. This is the problem, I know, with the not with the consumer behavior, rather it is the problem with the, basically the umbrella which solves the entire value chain. That's what I'm going to talk. Okay. Very important. And as a student, you must know, and you feel that, okay, there are so many companies in the Insurtech space today. And since we are part of Indian Insurance Association, this is not the slide I have prepared. This is the slide that Shobha and team keeps preparing. So if you see SureBuddy, I'm just moving my cursor here. You can see SureBuddy. SureBuddy is a micro insurance which provides the free insurance, which has been powered by BRIisk. So it is our product in India. So it's an Android-based app which provides the free insurance. How free insurance, that we'll chat later, but I'm just giving an example because we developed this product in India and we basically launched it, I think 14th of December. Yeah. Now, coming to Insurtech versus tech, and I was taking this example before that. Why do you think that a company like BRIisk has to come and called as an Insurtech company? Rather, the companies like Salesforce or the companies like Accenture, they say that, hey, we are a tech company, we are providing software as a service, platform as a service, and we are solving insurance also. Insurance companies are also our clients, so we are also Insurtech. Similarly, tech companies, they can say that, hey, we are solving the problem of education, so we are also tech companies. Guys, it is not. And let me tell you, because Insurtech, fintech, or edtech is a different space from tech. So technology as a subject is very broader. However, Insurtech, fintech, and edtech, which are the 3 emerging industries in India today, they need different, basically competency level. If I say competency level, not only in terms of the merit, not only in terms of the, basically employee talent, but also the entire processes. So there are so many tech companies who knows that how to create the coding, how to develop the coding, how to do the low coding, how to do the API integration, how to do the white labeling. But until your BRD is there, you cannot do all these things. And you cannot make BRD only being tech company. You need to have the business requirement documents when you understand the industry, very important. And that's where Insurtech company, they understand insurance and they have the tech expertise, and these two collaborate and they are called Insurtech. Similarly, fintech, similarly, edtech. So if you see, again, just taking an example, I'm not a brand ambassador of Bajaj, but just taking an example, I don't know how many of you know. So while I was teaching for Career Launcher, Bajaj was teaching for Career Forum in the year 2000, I don't know, 2004-06, and then he was conducting his own CAT classes. So he was an academician, so he understands education. He took the tech as a enabler, and he provided the platform. And today, if you ask me whether it is a B2C, B2B, or B2B2C, any business model you take is very important for a user to come on a platform, get a flawless experience so that the user will say, hey, my learning is flawless, it is fast, it is better, it is bigger, and it is faster. And this is where user is talking about. Whether you love this insurtech, fintech, or edtech, you can hate, you cannot ignore. And you being the students, tomorrow, in case if you need to get into a job, these are the companies which will show you the future, because they are on their way to disrupt the market. And disrupt what? Disrupt insurance market, disrupt financial market, disrupt education market. Can you imagine that SBI has a mobile app today? Can you imagine that SBI, when I remember when my dad was sending me for engineering, he took 1 day leave just to get demand draft done to pay to my college. And Pandeji, you will agree to it, that there are times, maybe in your time, where SBI, you go, you need to stand outside the bank, outside the branch manager's cabin for hours and hours to withdraw your own money, which you are keeping in your own bank. That was the bureaucracy. People used to be in the queue for the months and months to get BSNL license, the membership, the registration. Look at today. You are literally not paying anything as your mobile fees, mobile, postpaid connection. Everything is coming free. 3,999, you can make 4 people free of cost data. You can make ISD calls. And I remember when BSNL was there and I was student, I was in DPS Bokaro, and I used to call my mom and dad in Bihar. For 3 minutes, I used to talk, and I don't know, you guys will not even believe it. And I used to pay 600 rupees to, that PCO guy or the STD booth guy. I don't know how many of you have seen those PCOs and STDs, but that was there in my time. Guys, trust me, 5 years down the line, while you will speak to your next generation, my daughter is 9 years old. So when you will speak to my daughter's generation, you guys will say, hey, we have seen insurance companies. You guys are not seeing it. We have seen bank. They'll say, what is bank? We know everything is on mobile. So guys, and that's where it happens in a sequence. And we are on a path of disruption. And trust me, disruption doesn't happen without innovation. So disruption has to happen with the innovation, and innovation can never happen without technology. And that's where there is an importance of technology. So insurance is just an example, but otherwise, if you ask me, I'm very big fan of data analytics. I'm big fan of pattern behavior, machine learning, and I can speak a lot. So if I say technology does not mean only the coding or the codes. Technology does not mean only software as a service. Technology is imbibed with data analytics. And why data analytics? Trust me, guys, everything happens on the consumer behavior. Today, the neuro-linguistic programming, today, the singular universities, today, there are so many universities in the world which are developing a chip which can predict your emotional intelligence. Imagine a sticker is kept on your thumb, and that sticker can say that, hey, Manish, don't go angry. You are getting angry, don't go angry. So there are so many NLP programs around the world where the research is going on. And trust me, all these things is going to happen. And tomorrow there will be war between men and machine. There will be war between men and machine. People say that, hey, where artificial intelligence ends, emotional intelligence starts. I agree to it. But at the same time, you need to understand, at least the tech is empowering a human being to become the Superman. And that's where I'm talking about the disruption. Taking my discussion forward. So if you ask me, what is Insurtech? So Insurtech is converting a channel-driven, if I say channel could be agent, could be bank, could be anything. So distribution-based services. So Insurtech is changing the channel-driven insurance industry to customer-driven insurance industry. And I'll give you an example. Like some time back, Charu was giving an example that some uncle was used to come our home, used to get the form signature, and they used to. Do you think that people used to buy because they used to read the brochure? Trust me, most of the Indians, they even don't read the policy document of insurance. They buy insurance because somebody's chacha, mama, tai, bua is an insurance agent. Or bank people are saying that you want loan, you take insurance. So insurance is a byproduct of loan. Insurance is a byproduct of investment. But insurance should be sold as insurance. Insurance should be sold as the concept of protection. that this is your income. Somehow something is going to happen to you. This is what your family member gets. This is what insurance is all about. So insurance, that's how life insurance works. And that's where health insurance works and stuff like that. I don't want to talk the detail about insurance, but I'm telling you what is tech doing. So tech is doing two important things. One is it is giving a platform, accessibility to everybody. And this is what EdTech is doing. So today, even people in a very village, they can access any of the videos from Badges. It can be from the best of best faculty who have taught for ITJE or CAT or GMAT or GRE or whatever the competitive exam. So that guy sitting in the tier 4 or tier 5 town of India or the village of India, he can also aspire to become an IAS officer. He does not need to go to Kota. He does not need to come to Hyderabad or Bangalore to become a IIT. And this is what tech is doing. So first fundamental thing, what a tech is doing is it is making your life comfortable, convenient, and easy. How? By accessing the products through a platform which is accessible to you, because you can buy an Android phone in 4,000 rupees and your Jio is making data free everywhere. This is what tech is doing. Number one. What is tech is doing in insurance space? Tech is saying that, hey, we are not pushing insurance. So insurance is push, not pull. Tech is providing them as a pull. So what happens today? Okay, tomorrow is your, let's say, car insurance and you forgot. You were traveling and you forgot. You go to policybazaar.com, enter your car registration number. You will get everything. You go to Digit, you enter, you will find everything. Policybazaar.com is not an insurance company. And that's where they have become the unicorn. They were the first mover. Just taking an example, I'm not advocating Policy Bazaar. When I started Bank Bazaar, in Chennai around 7 years ago, we said that, hey, why you need to go to a bank to get the loan? You call us, we will provide you the loan. And we had a tie-up with all the banks, all the major banks in India, and all the banks, they used to give us 2 to 3% lesser rate of interest because they were cutting the cost of acquisition. I don't know how many of you understand. So there are two costs. One is called cost of acquisition. Second is called cost of intermediary. That is called distribution cost. And trust me, this is what tech does in the third thing. So the tech minimizes the cost of acquisition. So today, you don't need to pay 40% commission to agent. Since you don't need to pay 40% commission to the agent, you can give a better product to a customer, and the customer is also happy. You are also happy. And that's how the Insurtech is enabling the insurance company. So many people, they are not liking Insurtech, but whether you like or you don't like, you have no choice. Trust me, guys, tomorrow, next minute you want a policy document on your mobile, you will get it. And today, trust me, until 5 years ago, and that's where I moved from insurance company to aggregator, and then aggregator to Insurtech I'm working for. So it is not a by chance I'm working for BRIisk. So I'm working in BRIisk by choice, because I know that at some point of time your product will be obsolete, because anybody and everybody can copy your product. What will be more important is your ideology, is your platform, and is your way in which you do the 360-degree customer view and the customer delight. And that's where that disruption is all about. So if you ask me today, and as a student, you must know, because tomorrow you will go for, basically interviews, and, they will ask the questions to you. If you ask me how the value chain of insurance is. So the value chain of insurance is the product co-creation, product development, product filing, getting the product, which typically product management does, which typically actuary does, which typically pricing management does. In every insurance company, it is there, and it is highly regulated product, right? So you cannot launch your product thinking that, hey, today I want to launch my product. It's not like EdTech, unfortunately. So fintech and insurtech, they are regulated by RBIs, IDs, and the SEBIs. So we are the highly regulated market. So we need to file the product with the IDI, we get the approval. Now look at the power of technology. You don't need to manufacture 100 products. You can run the analytics around your past sales, past customer delight, past customer feedback, and you can prioritize and deprioritize on the product, because you cannot go to ID and say that, hey, I want 20 product approval this year. They cannot give. They will not give. So in a year, probably 5 to 6 products, they will give the approval. Now imagine you take 9 months time to build a product, another 10 months time to build that tech platform for that particular product, and then you file the product and you are not able to sell the product. So it is a huge cost. On the other hand, you are not getting the revenue, and that's where the tech plays an important role. And guys, there are so many companies in this space, companies like, I don't know how many of you know Lemonade. Lemonade works on this analytics solutions in this space. The another value chain, which is very important value chain, is marketing and distribution. You need to sell, but unfortunately, who is selling? It is somebody else is selling. That can be a bank, and the bank CRM doesn't talk to your CRM. Your IT team doesn't understand what their IT team needs. Your basically IT team says A, their IT team says Z. And at the same time, you cannot say that you don't understand Z because they are your seller. And that's where the features like API integration, the white labeling concept of the tech comes into the picture, which says that, hey, can I create a marriage between your tech and my tech? And that's what who does? It is Insurtech does. So actually Briisk lies here. So if you ask us that what does Briisk do in a very simple language, we solve the problem of marketing and distribution for insurance companies. So we provide API integration, we provide white labeling, we provide platform as a service, we provide the cloud-based solutions to the insurance companies and also the distributor in one-to-many concept where anybody can copy and basically product, and which solves the problem of distribution. And the third thing, which is very important, is how do you manage your customer? And if unfortunately any customer dies or any customer claims in a case of general insurance, are you in a position to provide the claim in a very, very simplified and a very flawless manner so that your customer will be happy and they will make the renewal of your insurance? And that is very important because insurance is not a one-year game. Insurance is around 5 years, 10 years, 15 years game, because you cross the break even only when the 10th year comes or 7th year comes, because until the customer pays 3-4 renewal, you cannot make profit. And that's where the policy servicing and the claim is very important in insurance. And what does a Insurtech does? So insurance, for example, Laminate, the example which I was giving you, Laminate claims that within 4 minutes, we will provide you the claim. The claim will be there on your desk. The claim amount will hit your account. And that's what basically Insurtech does. So if you ask me, automation is a process, analytics is a process, white labeling is a process, API integration is a process, but all these processes are the part of tech. And you cannot make this tech without understanding the value chain of insurance. And that's where Insurtech is all about. So that's where tech companies are different, Insurtech companies are different. Tech companies are different, edtech companies are different. Trust me, in India, there are 7,000 edtech companies. But nobody knows edtech companies the way people know badgers. Nobody knows Insurtech companies the people know maybe Digit or Policy Bazaar, because they are the people who understand the manufacturing product. They also understand the tech. Trust me, many of you must be engineers. Now, why you guys are doing MBA? Because you want to understand the business dynamics and then using your technical skill and then collaborating these two to make your career. And that's what analytics all about. This is what data science all about. And this is what basically tech companies do. If you ask me, the top 10 Insurtech companies across the globe, and it is not my data, it is the FinTech global data. You can see, you can go to their website and you can see, and look at the kind of funding, look at the kind of valuation that they have today. You cannot even imagine. I gave you example of Airbnb versus Marriott. They are beating the companies which have been in the market for the last 100 years. And in what? In 3 years, 5 years, Digit was nowhere around 10 years ago. Mr. Kamlesh Shah was working in Bajaj. And today he's leading the entire, basically, Insurtech space and getting the millions and billions of valuation, which maybe bottom 10 insurance companies, they will not be there. I give you example of Lemonade, I gave you example. Okay, all right. So let me give you a few examples about the disruption in insurance. There are two people. Two kind of people in India. One is who buy insurance because they can afford it. There is another segment of people who cannot buy insurance because they cannot afford it. Everybody understands insurance is important, but you don't want to buy until you feel that it is urgent. And you know what? Post-COVID, the things have changed. People have started understanding, hey, health insurance is important. 2 days inside the hospital, you will burn out of money. So you need to have health insurance. So COVID has changed the way people used to see technology. And trust me, I'm not telling only from your point of view. Whenever we do enterprise sales, whenever we go to enterprises, whenever we are going to the corporates, everybody's talking about tech. Everybody's talking about Zoom. Everybody's talking about the technology enabled businesses, which is flourishing at this point of time. So guys, I'll give you just two examples, which will give you a kind of concept about Insurtech. So first example is, let's say you are going in Uber. The moment you are going in Uber or starting any taxi, your life is on risk. Anything can happen to you. And the moment you are again coming back home, you are safe. Why you need to have insurance for the entire time? You just start an app which should start giving you the insurance for the time you travel. And this is what Buy Miles do. So I'll give you one example from SureBuddy, and then I can, I can open the forum for the questions. But let me 1 second, guys. Huh? One second. Yeah. So I'll give you example of SureBuddy, right? So SureBuddy is an app, is a mobile app. The moment you download the mobile app, they will ask you to register. The moment you register, you will have an option to get personal accident insurance cover up to 20 lakh rupees free of cost. And how free? I'll give you. It's not a free. It is like you need to watch some ad, maybe 900 ads or 600, I think 300 ads. Once you finish that particular ad, you earn the premium of the insurance. And that's what SureBuddy does. Look at the disruption. Look at the disruption, what we are trying to do. So we are saying that, hey, we will provide you the insurance free of cost. You don't need to pay from your pocket. And personal accident is important for whom? Primarily the person like you, students. And that's why we have launched this SureBuddy, recently. So what we did in SureBuddy, so I have stopped sharing my screen. So what SureBuddy did, we went to Google. We said that, hey, Google, in your Play Store, you please, allow us. Google said, okay, fair enough. I have so many advertisers in our platform, which is called Google Ad Mob. We will give you the advertisement, which is related to healthcare, which is related to Nike, or, a number of advertisers are there. So now Sunidhi is, let's say, 2 hours in a day, she's free. She will get maybe 5 ads. She has to just watch 5 ads a day. And Sunidhi, at the end of the month, she gets 20 lakh rupees personal accident cover free of cost. Now, unlike you go to insurance company, they will ask you to pay 5,000 rupees. In that, agent will take 40% commission. The moment you want to claim, you don't know because you have to call that agent. Look at the kind of bureaucracy which was there in the entire value chain. And we have just removed everything. And who is the insurer? Care Health Insurance is the insurer. And the same premium, if you go to Care, you will have to pay. The same Care Health Insurance, we have taken the same product. We did the API integration. We did the white labeling. We developed that mobile app and integrated their product on our app and say that, hey, it is SureBuddy. And let me tell you, SureBuddy is not an Indian company. So good friend of mine, Johan, they are based out of Botswana in Africa. They are doing something like this. I said, hey, Johan, it is first of its kind. Why don't we launch in India? And trust me, if tomorrow SureBuddy is getting hit, it will be like your Ghana or Wing app. Because, or maybe today, personal accident is there on your app. Tomorrow we will launch term plan. Day after tomorrow we launched car insurance. After that we will launch two-wheeler insurance. Look at the innovation that we do at that level. So guys, these are the benefits of Insurtech. So I can keep talking. I can keep talking on the very high level, which probably you may not understand the language today. And this where when I was speaking to Dr. Pandey, and we thought that we will make this basically, talk in a very simple language, and I would love to answer your questions because it's almost 12:15. I have a meeting from 1, my next meeting. So I would love to answer your questions, and maybe we can have, series 2.0 where I can talk maybe more advanced version of analytics, data science around it, what is happening around white labeling or API, that we can talk later. But however, I think these are the few things which I wanted to speak to you at your level, to give you the information, to give you the knowledge, to give you the insight, to give you the heads up, so that you will be more determined and basically enthusiastic and the passionate about, hey, Insurtech is not about selling insurance. Insurtech is all about enabling insurance for the flawless customer user experience, so that, today it is not a coincidence, right? And now Bajus has become the darling of all the, investors. Digit has become the darling of all the investors. So all the investors, you go and say, hey, I want to pump in Baju, I want to pump in an academy, I want to pump in, Digit. Why you are not interested in pumping in, let's say, I don't know, Sahara Life Insurance? Maybe the name could be wrong, or maybe any of the chit fund company. Guys, they are dying. They are dying today, and that's where, as a business guy today, I don't work for insurance company. I work for an Insurtech company, and I was wise enough. And people say that, Manish, you are a lucky. Trust me, I'm not a lucky. Luck is a ability to grab opportunity. So I also started selling in SDFC Bank when I started, then went to Deutsche Bank, then went to Max Bupa, and then I was selling in. That's where it clicked my head, and I joined Bank Bazaar. The moment I joined Bank Bazaar, I understood, okay, this is the future. And today, look at those companies where they are leading to, and 100-year-old company, they are still trailing with a 1 or 2 market share, and everybody's into rat race. And a Pandey, and you will agree to it. Everybody's in a rat race. Iska customer ye le lo, usi ka customer wo le lo. Ek RM gaya, apne purane bank se utha liya. Wahi RM dusre bank gaya, apne purane bank se utha liya. But you need to understand, the winner of a rat race is still a rat. So it's very important if you want to disrupt. If you want to disrupt, it will happen only 2 ways. Bring the innovation, use the technology. And that's where today, even in education, I'm a big fan of education. I keep taking lectures. I keep going to the colleges. Recently, I was at SIBM, Hyderabad. Prior to that, I was at, a couple of organizations. And I must tell you this, today, all the education institutions, even the evangelist like Manoj Pandey, you guys understand that you can love it, you can hate it, you cannot ignore it. हमारा जमाना चला गया कि हम लोग कोचिंग जाते थे, सामने बैठते थे, टीचर 2 थप्पड़ भी मार देता था, हम लोग बर्दाश्त कर लेते थे. The entire value chain. Today, my daughter goes to Oak Ridge. I pay 4 lakh rupees fees every year, and 4 lakh rupees में तो मेरी पूरी इंजीनियरिंग की पढ़ाई हो गई थी, and मेरा MBA भी हो गया था. So there were times, right? So you cannot change the dynamics which is changing. But one thing which will remain same, as I told you, मैं एक हिंदी में बहुत अच्छी चीज आपको बोलता हूँ. एक चीज है, जैसा विश्वास वैसा व्यवहार, और जैसा व्यवहार वैसा व्यापार. And trust me, this is the punchline of MBA. You don't need to go to Harvard, Stanford, or Wharton to understand this. If your belief system is wrong, you won't understand. This phone is a crazy phone. It's an insane phone, but people are in queue to buy this phone. Most valued company of the world, Apple, Alphabet. What is this? And it's written that design in California and manufactured in China. Everybody knows this, but still they say it is not a Chinese phone. It's an Apple. So that's a belief system. And behavior, everybody understands. And the business, you can understand only when you understand the belief. Technology changes that gap between the behavior and belief. And that's what, to that note, I would leave it up to you guys. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Manish Ji, for such a wonderful talk. And last was the punching lies, winning of a rat race is still a rat. So unless until, and that's true. ये upselling, cross-selling, सब अपने आप में ही करते हैं. अपने customer को ही बार-बार चूना लगाते हैं. Nobody is looking at the bottom of the pyramid kind of situation where huge business is there, untapped business is there, and thought process can change, and that is what you people are doing. So hats up to you, the Insurtech community, which is disrupting the market for the good. I mean, I'm of course from the old generation, but again, I really love this space, and that is how we got in touch with India Insurtech Association, and they are helping us in many ways. सो गाइज टाइम फॉर क्वेश्चन आंसर। अभी आप लोग अपना वीडियो ऑन कर लो। मनीष जी भी जानते हैं कि आप लोग अपने अपने घर में हो, शायद टी शर्ट पहन के बैठे होगे, कपड़ा पहने हो ना, कोई बात नहीं, चलेगा। सो पहला क्वेश्चन, प्रतीक, काइंडली पुट ऑन योर वीडियो, आस्क योर क्वेश्चन। प्रतीक, मेरे ख्याल से सब लोग वीडियो ऑन कर लो यार, इट्स
Yes, sir. Yes.
फाइन, अच्छा लगेगा यार। इको चैम्बर वाली भी आई है क्रांति। यस प्रतीक, आई थिंक यू हैड पोस्टेड द फर्स्ट क्वेश्चन।
Yes, sir.
प्रतीक हो ना? या प्लीज आस्क।
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Sir, I just asked that. First of all, good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon.
Sir.
फटाफट क्वेश्चन पूछो।
Yes, sir. Sir, you talked about that in India, insurance is sold, not bought. So, sir, I want to ask that why is it so? Where are we lacking? Is it about the insufficient convincing power from the agents, or is it about the lack of trust in insurance companies as far as claims are concerned, or is it about lack of knowledge about insurance itself, or is it about mis-selling from the agents? What's your take on it, sir?
Very good question, Pratik, and a very basic but very fundamentally important question, which everybody should understand who want to make a career in insurance, who want to become employee of insurance. Because typically the moment you will say, sir, daddy, after doing my MBA, I want to join insurance company. Your daddy will say, have you gone mad or what? You did not get any e-commerce, why you are going to join insurance company? So it's very important you to understand that why insurance is very corrupted market. And again, my opinion is personal opinion, no offense to anybody in the market. This is my personal opinion, and out of my experience, I'll answer. 1956 to 2000, one company, monopoly, whether you love it or you hate it. IDA came. IDA says, hey, your mechanism were not so ethical, and that's where I want to do the privatization. In the privatization, they said that, okay, foreign companies needs to come. They need to have 49% FDI, and that's where they need to go on. So IDA was formed to not become CBI. IDA was formed to enable the innovative and the different way of selling insurance. But unfortunately, if you see any company in India today, whether it is LIC, SBI Life, ICICI Prudential, SDFC Life, everybody is selling the same way. Either agents are selling, or banks are selling, or brokers are selling. And trust me, these three entities who are selling, they are not bothered about the customer. They are bothered about their commission. कि किस प्रोडक्ट में कितना ज्यादा कमीशन है वो बेचो. It is not called mis-selling. It is called integrity. So problem is when you are on a king space. So today who is in a king space? जो प्रोडक्ट बना रहा है वो king space में है, या जो प्रोडक्ट को बेच रहा है वो king space में है? Unfortunately, जो प्रोडक्ट बना रहा है वो king space में नहीं है, जो प्रोडक्ट बेच रहा है वो king space में है. So the customer is suffering and the insurance companies is suffering. But who is making great profit? It is the person who is selling insurance, because he is getting the commission. And that's the issue, Pratik. So most of the time, the customers don't get what they were looking at, rather they get what distributor were selling. Because insurance is not like, Gold Flex cigarette, where the customer will walk in and say that I want that, because customer knows I'm in a need of Gold Flex cigarette or Ashirwad Atta. Insurance is a product which is selling dreams. So there is a lack of education, first of all. Second is the way it is selling is wrong. The third is the commission structure is so spiked in 2009, and Pandey sir must be knowing this. 2009, the ULIP product, the commission rate dipped from 40% to 3%. And that's where most of the companies, they were into chaos. What is happening? Because they were selling insurance as an investment. Investment karna hai, insurance le lo. Wrong. That is not the way insurance should be sold. None of the insurance products can give you more than 10% rate of interest, not even 5% rate of interest if it is endowment policy. And then people used to say, sir, fixed deposit mein rakhe hua insurance kara. Wrong. So there are various categories of insurance and people need to understand it. And so what tech does, Insurtech companies do. Insurtech companies provide the right education, right information which anybody can and everybody can accessible. You don't need to read some 30 pages policy document. So accessibility, right information. Third is need. You are a student, what you need? Do you think that you need a pension plan now? You don't need a pension plan. Do you think that, Pandey sir needs a, I don't know, endowment plan now? Not required, and that's what if you see anybody, how India works. आप 20-21 साल के लोग होते हैं, नौकरी लग जाती है, पहला प्रोडक्ट जो आप खरीदते हैं ना, क्रेडिट कार्ड, एंड दिस इज ए वेरी कॉमन पैटर्न. दूसरा प्रोडक्ट जो आप खरीदते हैं वो होता है 2-व्हीलर लोन. तीसरा प्रोडक्ट जो आप खरीदते हैं ना वो होता है 4-व्हीलर लोन. देन आपकी शादी हो जाती है, देन यू गो फॉर होम लोन, and then you go for insurance. That's how the pattern goes, and it is not only applicable to you, Pratik. It is applicable to every Indian in India. I also do this. I also did this, and then I realized, oh, this is a different pattern. Do you think that Mukesh Ambani needs a credit card? But every bank in India would love to sell credit card to Mukesh Ambani. भाई रिक्शा वाले को दे दो यार, दे दो उस फार्मर को जिसका 3 महीने ही फसल होता है, बट उसका इनकम तो है. So you are understanding, Pratik, it is not about insurance, it is about the financial product. Unfortunately, financial products are inaccessible. आप इतनी दूर की बात क्यों करते हैं? हम मेरी बात करो. जब मेरे को लोन लेना था, trust me, I did not give bribe, but there were so many people who gave bribe to bank manager to get a loan. Today, you will get 100 calls to get a loan. Hope you are understanding what I'm saying.
बैंक वाले पीछे पड़ रहते हैं कि आप अपने स्टूडेंट का डाटा दे दो, अपने एप्लीकेंट का डाटा दे दो कि ताकि उनको हम लोग पिचिंग कर सके, and we avoid giving it. Okay, Ritvik, are you there? Ritvik, our alumni passed out 2 years back. आपका क्वेश्चन है या दाढ़ी कट गई है तुम्हारी? गुड, प्लीज आस्क योर क्वेश्चन.
Good afternoon, good afternoon, Manoj sir. Good afternoon, Manish sir. My question is with respect to the point that you made regarding India and Bharat, like the financial inclusion that BRIISK as an Insurtech is doing there. So taking into consideration the kind of population or the people below poverty line and the daily wage earner, with recent their income has been reduced to even less than 250 per day. So how come what challenges what is the like financial inclusion you are bringing in there? Because for those people there are a lot of things that are happening around their atmosphere. So financial inclusion is a big step towards that, no doubt. But considering like मेरा मतलब बेसिक हिंदी में अगर मैं बोलूं कि वहाँ पे लोगों के साथ इतना कुछ और भी चीजें हैं, तो वहाँ पे एक टेक्नोलॉजी या कैसे इनेबल कर रहा है कि लोग वहाँ पे अपने लिए एक टर्म या कुछ एक प्रोडक्ट ले लें, या सैशे टाइप या बाइट साइज प्रोडक्ट. जैसे अगर आपने जियो का एग्जांपल लिया था, तो जियो का मुझे समझ में आता है, क्योंकि आज के टाइम पे आप जब मोबाइल नेटवर्क यूज करते हो तो बाकी इतने ज्यादा महंगे हो गए हैं प्लान्स, तो जियो उसमें अफोर्डेबल है. वो अभी एक 3500 का अपना हैंडसेट भी लाएगा जो फ्री इंटरनेट दे देगा, तो वो समझ में आता है. लेकिन आप कैसे उसको फाइनेंशियली इंक्लूड कर रहे हो या पेनिट्रेट कर रहे हो उस पॉपुलेशन को? मेरा क्वेश्चन आपसे ये है.
See, financial inclusion is a government agenda, and that's where Digital India, Skill India, and Young India is basically on top of that. So financial inclusion is government agenda, and the government is doing a lot of things, or may not be doing, I'm not sure. We are a company, so we don't say that, hey, our job is to create only the financial inclusion. We are doing business, but at the same time we are doing business not at the cost of making poor poorer and the rich richer. So our job is to at least maintain the gap of, which is called forbidden gap, between the rich and the poor. Now how we can bridge that gap, that is a combined agenda that Pandey sir has to say, that government of India has to say, that the respective states has to say, that bureaucrats have to say. However, just to give an example, SureBuddy, which I told you.
Yes, yeah.
We are providing free personal accident in India, which nobody did. Even the care health insurance, same insurer which is providing free on our platform, they are not providing free on their website. So we are trying to reach out to those people who are living in Odisha, Bengal, or Bihar, or UP, or Chhattisgarh, in the rural districts, including Naxal areas, and say that, hey, you have 3,500 rupees phone, download this app. Whole day you are free because you are not doing anything, you are unemployed. At least get 20 lakh rupees of the personal cover, so that if tomorrow while driving the bike and drunk and driving, if you fell down somewhere, your family should not suffer. They should not sell their jewelry to take care of your, basically, hospitalization expenses. Just one example of imparting financial inclusion. And like that, there can be n number of products which can be on the part. So what is financial inclusion? Financial inclusion to ensure that that villager who is there in one of the village should not, sell his property or jewelry to cover off his hospitalization. And how we are doing it? We are doing it through a mobile app called SureBuddy. And which platform this SureBuddy is? Any Android app. You can go to Google Play Store, you can download, and you can do that. That's what security guys are doing on YouTube and the WhatsApp.
Efforts are being made. I remember even Vodafone having a tie-up with Aviva India to provide free insurance cover for their people, I mean their subscribers. But I do not know how the things unfolded, because again that aspect is not in news right now.
Yeah.
Okay, Sunidhi, are you there? Please ask your question.
Yes.
आप क्या कहना चाहते हो कि आप जैसे बच्चों को इंश्योरटेक में नौकरी मिलनी चाहिए?
Sir, I wanted to ask, so like you said, any tech company cannot become an insurtech company. So why can't they just hire people from insurance industry as many as they need to become an insurtech?
As I told you that Insurtech is a disruption, and disruption happens from the mass through innovation. So it needs a different skill set. It needs a skill set which can see the future. So, being the managing director of this company, I don't need to think about how my company is doing today. Rather, I need to think that how my company is rolling in 2026. So we do 3 years plan, 5 years plan, sales forecast, financial modeling, cash flows, operating, OPEX, CAPEX, and stuff like that. So these are the very technical terms which you may not understand today, but I'm saying that Insurtech companies, they are looking for people who can understand and visualize the future. Now, how? By having better knowledge, better information, better technical skill, understanding data science, understanding the balance between the domain knowledge, the tech, the analytics, the future. For example, if you ask me today, digital marketing, trust me, is becoming very costly nowadays. You run any campaign and in Instagram, the number of people who are there in Instagram are lesser than the people who basically advertise on Instagram. It has become like this, right? So if you ask me, if I need to hire somebody in the Insurtech space, for example, if I go to BIMTECH and I speak to Pandey sir, and I'll say that, sir, I don't want to take group discussion. I don't want to take role plays. I just want to give a kind of 5 questions. Let these people answer, and those 5 questions could be a psychometric test, could be a futuristic question, which can talk about that, hey, how you have seen the world 5 years ago, how you are seeing the world today, and how you are seeing the world 5 years down the line. And if there are 3 examples, if you are able to illustrate, orchestrate and present, I think you are home, and that's what we are looking at. So futuristic presentation. Yeah.
Yeah, that's Nidhi. The problem is that if you take an insurance guy, he will not think beyond obvious. मामला वहीं फंस जाएगा.
बिल्कुल.
Disruption है. We have to question the status quo. अब आप हमसे पूछोगे तो मैं तो हमेशा मेरे दिमाग में जो मैं पढ़ा हूँ, जो देखा हूँ, जो किया हूँ ना, उसके आगे मैं सोच ही नहीं सकता हूँ. आप लोग सोच सकते हो, आप लोग एक क्वेश्चन कर सकते हो कि ऐसा क्यों हो रहा है. And that is where they always look for someone who is disruptor, innovation, creativity की जो बार-बार बात आ रही है आज के डेट में कि future leadership is not about knowing the subject, but how can the existing things can be challenged. And there comes the role of creativity. Creativity, innovation, बड़ा sugar-coated word है. But thing is that you need to think beyond obvious. Okay, Vivek, your question.
Sir, good afternoon, sir. So my question is, as you have talked about AI, ML, and these data science and data usage, my question is, what are your views on data privacy laws and data protection laws in India? Whereas one day in our class, Manoj sir was talking about some company, and on my phone on the same day, I was getting the advertisement of that company. So is it good to use that data, what I'm talking in my home?
Yeah, so today it's an open world. You cannot say that you are private. Nobody is private today. While we are talking, everything is live. Even if we are not live, somebody will make it live. So I don't know. Again, these are my personal opinion, and I'm sure that even though Pandey sir will try to maintain his students' data private, there are so many agencies in India who will say that, hey, my entire BIMTECH college data is with me. You want to take? You please take. So today, there are technologies so advanced, so disruptive. and it's so open and it's so accessible that your data is actually in threat. However, it all depends on dynamics of basically other businesses. We are not in government, we are not in policy, we are not policymakers. So we should not comment on that, how we can do this, whether it is wrong, right, and stuff like that. However, you need to go with the flow of the society. At this point of time, the user himself or herself does so much mistake by providing the demographics that the analytics goes around it, talks about the client. Today, the more times you go to Google and searches on keyword, the more number of times you go to YouTube and watches that, the more posts that you write on a Twitter, the more things that you know, imagine your Alexa is on for 24/7. What will happen? Your everything, whatever you are talking, I don't know. Again, these are my personal opinion. So these are the mediums in which you can think about what I'm talking about. However, there is a way to control. And the way to control is you need to be self-control. If you ask me, in 21st century, the biggest trait under emotional intelligence, which will control and which will differentiate you being successful from the unsuccessful, is self-control. You need to be very, very self-controlled. You need to be diplomatically very patient, which is missing. Honestly, I see my daughter, and my daughter is every time, most of the time, she wants everything on her fingertip and everything is accessible. She says, Dada, how you guys lived without YouTube? And I have no answer. And she is not ready to believe that YouTube was not there when I was student. And I said that, beta, I also studied all these things. YouTube was not there. She says that it is not possible because for them, every day without YouTube, they even cannot imagine. Now imagine, in my time, data was safe because nobody was there to track, to make the around, and it's an opportunity as well. So I'm telling you, I don't know who asked this question, but I'm telling you 5 years down the line, there will be the processes and there will be the technology the moment you will think, you will get the answer. And there are NLPs which are going on. And at that point of time, those MBA colleges, those Google, those Quoras of the world, they might go obsolete. So there are so much research going on in the singular university. I don't know how many of you know this. So it's like everything, one sticker, everything is controlled. What we used to watch in Hollywood. Trust me, it is going to happen. Because I could never imagine कि मतलब online exam होगा and you can copy all the questions from Google. Today it is possible. Today I see, my daughter, what is she doing?
Yeah, that's a challenge. Technology is always ahead of the society right now. I mean,
Exactly.
all the governments are struggling what to do with the cryptocurrency. कहीं बैन कर रहे हैं, कहीं ओपन कर रहे हैं, कहीं कंफ्यूज्ड है, इंडिया भी कंफ्यूज्ड है. So technology is definitely bringing a challenge, which is, what he says right, Jhaji, कि आप अपना खुद ही कंट्रोल करो. Soumya, I can see you have raised the hand. If you'd like to ask the question, please go ahead. Soumya is from 2016 pass out. Soumya, are you there?
Yes, sir.
Yeah,
Very
please
good
go
afternoon,
ahead.
sir. Very good afternoon, Manoj sir. Very good afternoon, Manoj sir. Let me tell you, I am pass out from 14-16 batch and presently working in liability insurance domain. Recently switched to a liability, insurance company. So my question to Manoj sir is, sir, you talked about
Manish sir, not to me.
Manish sir, yes. My question from Manish sir, you talked about, convenience, the technology, what convenience technology brings in a push-driven market, like a push-driven product of insurance. Like the technology gives us convenience, right? With convenience, it costs our data, right? Our privacy and data are definitely a component to our convenience. So many times we see many fintech companies, many education companies, many edutech companies, many, they have our personal PII information. Like sometimes if it is health tech companies, then it is our health records. Then if it is a fintech companies, then our financial, our cards information. So after what we say, this accessibility of our details with with the platform we trust, Now, how can we say post-COVID, we have seen many cyber attacks, many ransomware attacks. I am an industry person working in liability insurance, and into, liability insurance is a cyber insurance is a, very, unicorn product for us. So how can we say that this, boom of technology and, technology wrapping up the insurance products, like how we can say that our data is protected, our financial information is protected, and our trust on data, our trust on technology, and our trust on product of insurance, it is imbibed.
Yeah, so you need to trade off, and life is all about trade off, right? So, earlier people used to compromise on marriage, doesn't matter whether they are happy or not happy. Today, they are not ready to compromise. So it's all about if you see the trade off. So the trade off between the data and the tech, which will always be there. The more you will open up to a doctor, the doctor will digest you better, and doctor will give you the medicine better. And that's where you will get the better product. And that's where data is all about. So of course, when you share more data about yours, of course, you will get the, I don't know how many of you know DigiLocker. So DigiLocker is a government of India initiative where say that, hey, all your credentials should be in one locker, which is called DigiLocker. This is under Digital India, initiative. So if you ask me how, I don't have the answer. To be honest, I don't have the answer how it is going to do. I think typically, I don't know, McKinsey's of the world, they also have the answer. It is too early. However, it needs a very self-controlled trade-off. And I'll give you one example. Whatever you are studying in your MBA, Philip Kotler साहब आज से 50 साल पहले लिख के चले गए, आप आज भी वही पढ़ रहे हैं. And your Android is changing, your Android version is changing every 3rd month. So if you ask me, your how and my how are different. Your means you as an education a part of ecosystem, we as a part of corporate ecosystem. Our how is very different, but we trade off. How we trade off? We take the student, even if they are low skill set, we understand that wo abhi bhi Philip Kotler padh rahe hain, they will not understand Android, but they should have an intent to learn. We take the people on the will ground, we provide them a training, we provide them a skill, and they start doing it. Now, why I'm giving this example to you, because if, for example, you are in a cyber security, you are in a liability product. Liability product is very important for any kind of SMEs, MSMEs, any kind of bigger organizations. Now, bigger organizations, they need to trade off that what data they need to share. Do they need to share their director's salary or director what kind of computer that they are using? It is up to them. Or number of systems. This is the, I don't want to give the IP address. Without giving IP address also, you can provide the cyber secure insurance. But there are companies who are doing it. There are a lot of companies. So it will take some time for the people to understand it. But it all depends on sensitivity of the industry. So if you ask me today, e-commerce industries, they are very sensitive about the data because everybody, their business model is same. It's not that Amazon is doing something different which Flipkart is not doing. However, but the industries like fintech, everybody can do different because the market itself is like so balloon basis market. So it all depends on business model, industry, the kind of companies that you are.
Since there is no further questions, so last question is coming from my side, Manish Ji, and that is for the general benefit of our students. So what are the few skill sets which you look into a fresh student for hiring? हमारे बच्चे जो जैसा कि आप जानते हैं MBA में लगभग 35 to 40% intake is coming from the engineering background, but all of may not be knowing coding. सब हर ब्रांच से आते हैं. Then the next bulk is BCom and BBA, and there are few guys even coming from the humanities and other stream. So what is the benchmark or the common benchmark kind of skill sets which Insurtech company like BRIisk would be looking into a candidate from placement point of view?
Yeah, very burning question, Panditji. I think your question is common to most of the decision makers of the educational institutions. And I would just give my, again, answer out of my limited capacity, out of my experience and how I gaze and review the universities and students and category, whether it is IIM Calcutta or Stanford or Wharton or Harvard or Indian School of Business. If you ask me today, that doesn't matter whether you are from humanities or BCom or engineering, first of all. So first, Take that myth out of your head that, hey, if I need to join a PaaS company, I need to become an engineer. Trust me, I'm an electronics and communication engineer. I worked very hard in engineering. So far in my life, apart from my first job, I never used any of the engineering, basically studies. So it is not a degree-driven market. We are not degree-driven market. Unlike how government imposes is that IAS ka exam likhne ke liye you need to be a degree holder. And you know what? The market has proven so many examples. There are so many school dropouts who has become a successful business tycoon. And we respect that, and we admire that, we acknowledge that not all the CEOs are from IIMs, not all the tech guys, successful CTOs are from IITs. But if you see top 5, top 10 startups, they studied at IIT. So yes, degree is important, university is important, but what is more important is emotional intelligence. So there is a YouTube video by ex-general and he talks about character and competence. So if you tell me today, competence is important and that's where the rejection happens. But what is more important, and if I need to select, or if I need to basically see Akash and Charu that whom I need to hire, and if I have only one vacancy, probably I'll not conduct aptitude test. Probably I'll not do group discussions. Probably I'll not do role plays. Rather, I will have one session with Charu where I'll give Charu maybe one case, and I will try to listen what is her perspective and what I call it as a emotional intelligence. And guys, that is very important. And trust me, you don't need to learn everything from your own mistake. You need to learn sometime from others' mistake also. So in our time, Pandeyji, everything was not so open. So in our time, it was very easy to compare. कि भाई कौन tier A में, कौन tier B में, कौन tier C में है, tier A वाला अच्छा होगा, tier B वाला खराब होगा, tier C वाला वैसा ही होगा. In this today's world, the engineering is a factory. You will keep getting the students, and does not mean that they are engineers. In our time, engineering means engineering. In this time, engineering is a degree. So your first answer to your question in the first level is, we don't see the background. We don't see CGPA. We don't see GPA much. Yes, we see as a part of rejection, not in terms of selection. Now, how we select. So when we speak to Charu, we understand that, hey, is Charu ready to work in sales? Is Charu ready to work in marketing? Is Charu ready to work in data analytics? Is Charu ready to learn in any department of the business ecosystem? Doesn't matter from where Charu coming from, whether she is a humanities or BCom or BSc. And the moment Charu will say, hey, I'm doing my MBA in HR, I want a job in HR, I want a AC, I'm expecting to work in a employee engagement program in a R&R model of HR. Trust me, nobody will give you job, Charu, unless you are from Excel Rise Jamshedpur or top 20 B schools. We are doing business. We are doing dynamic business, and customer is in the nucleus, and rest everything revolve around that customer. So whether you love or you hate, at some point of time, you need to engage with the customer. May not be as a sales guy, maybe as a marketer, maybe as a market research, maybe as a data analytics guy. People feel that data analytics guys, they are sitting in front of system doing the R programming language, and then they are just publishing the report. Sorry, that is called MIS. Most of the data analytics guy, they engage with the end beneficiary and the internal stakeholders to understand the persona of the customer, and that's what they are paid for. They are psychologists. I don't know how many of you understand it. So they are the data scientists. They are not the guys who does the MIS. MIS is different. Dashboard is different. But business intelligence is different. So if you ask me today, flexibility is one, which is intent. The number two is very high level of emotional intelligence. If I say high level of emotional intelligence, मैं चारू के पीछे 2 साल human capital investment किया. After 2 years, Charu will leave me and go to my competitor. It is a big loss to me. And most of the IT and ITS companies, they are facing this problem. I was speaking to one of the senior folk, managing director of Deloitte India the other day. He said that the biggest concern for us is हम लोग bulk में उठाते हैं, training देते हैं, वो training करके कहीं और चला जाता है. So that is the issue. So second point is how resilient you are in terms of lucrative things that come on your way. And that's where I call it as a self-control. So are you going to join the first job for money, for career, for learning, or for exposure? And trust me, the moment you will say that, okay, we have so much questions. The moment they will say that, hey, I'm running behind money, I want this, trust me, my intent towards that goes down. It's not that I want to hire you at a lesser salary. I want to give you the same salary what I'm proposing in the pre-placement offer, but I will gaze you through some tricky questions. So first is flexibility, second is emotional intelligence, and third is basically your background. If I say background, maybe family background, maybe your educational background, maybe your culture, maybe how you deal with your peers, or maybe how your faculty talks about you. Trust me. So I'm going to, for example, I like Charu. I'm not going to hire you, Charu, until, Pandeji will say that, no, Charu has been very brilliant. She has been doing nice, because that is called ref check. So in every employee, in any important organization, we do the ref check. And you being the fresher, who is the right person to give you the ref check? Because those people who has taken your money, please understand, most of the students, they feel that my education institutions are my enemy. They penalize us for 70% attendance. They penalize me for this, they penalize me for that. My dean is one monster, my placement officer, sorry for my words, but Pandeji, I'm telling you how a student feel. Trust me, you guys are wrong. You need to understand, you have paid humongous amount of fees to the college. Your college will never treat you wrong, because your college, for your college, you are the customer, and customer is the king. The only problem is your college gives you that honeymoon period. You are into honeymoon period now. And since you are in a honeymoon period, you don't want to come out of comfort zone. And that's where we want to gaze. And that's where I call it as a, the trade-off between the flexibility and the self-control. The moment you don't want to come out of comfort zone, then better be inside your college. For me, you are not a girl, you are not a boy, you are not a student. So we, love to take the people who are ready to come out of the comfort zone, say that, sir, aap kuch bhi kaam do, main kaam karunga. I'm ready to work hard. Yes, I don't know this, and I'm very honest. You know what? You cannot bluff me. Trust me, you cannot bluff me. I cannot bluff Pandeji. These beards have gone gray. Not in the AC room. We have worked at a very ground level. We keep meeting so many people every day, right? Not at your level, but investors level, right? We keep, impressing our investors to get the money for us, and that's where you cannot. So be honest, be integral, be ethical, be vocal. Strengthen. And my last message to Pandeji's question is, जनरली हमारे टाइम में क्या होता था, तुम्हारा ये वीकनेस है, तुम अपने वीकनेस पे काम करो. ट्रस्ट मी, पांडे जी ये काम नहीं करता है आज के दिन में. आपका वीकनेस विल ऑलवेज बी रिमेन वीकनेस, बिकॉज somebody else is who is so excellent in that forum that they will excel. Strengthen your strength and have a courage to say, sir, my weakness is this, but my strength is this, and I'm sure your organization has this competency level matching to the requirement, and that's where you should hire it. My weakness will remain with the weakness, sir, but I'll try to improvise if that is needed. Otherwise, you don't need to work on data analytics if you are not good in data. Trust me, if you don't love data, you cannot become a data analytics. If you don't love people, you cannot become a business guy. If you don't love creativity, you cannot become a marketer. If you don't love your own people, you cannot run a business. If you don't understand software, you cannot run technology. These are the basic fundamental thing which is there. So strengthen your strength rather than looking again at the rat race that, hey, somebody else is doing this, I should also do this. Trust me, insurance companies, they provide one of the lucrative job. Trust me, e-commerce companies, there is a maximum attrition rate. I don't know how many of you know this. Microsoft is like a government job. Means people are sitting, they have no work, but everybody wants to go to Microsoft. And after 3 years, they feel that, hey, there's nothing creativity, there's nothing. And that's where they say that, hey, I want to join startups. That's what is happening. But that's what I say. You need to learn from others' mistake, because you should not always learn from your own mistake, because life is once. Your learning curve will be very slow.
Thank you. So nice, Manish ji. Very, very apt. Now I will invite Manisha to propose a formal vote of thanks. Manisha, kam samay lena sir ke paas, aaj meeting bhi 1 baje se. So you are invited to propose vote of thanks.
Okay, sir. Thank you, Manoj Pandey sir. On behalf of all my peers, Pandey sir and BIMTECH, I would like to extend my heartfelt gratitude to Dr. Manish Jha sir for giving such a lucid account of technology being enabler of the insurance disruption, and how you related everything with the live examples of be it Geo or be it Bharat-India coexistence, or the differences that you gave for tech and InsurTech, and the last concluding example of the shore buddy. So I hope all of us have understood the lessons and the messages that you gave, and we all enjoyed your sessions, the messages that you gave at the end. And right now also, just like you said, the parting messages, that they were definitely, they are going to help all of us in going to a great institution and a company. And also, I would like to extend my sincere thanks to India Insurtech Association for collaborating with BIMTECH for organizing this Insurtech Leadership Talk series. With that said, I would like to extend gratefulness to INMOS for the constant support that they give. And last but not the least, to our audience for their active participation. Thank you all once again.
Thank you, Manisha. So homework to you all guys, kindly download Share Buddy and let us get our insurance cover free of cost. है पहला काम देखते हैं, सबसे पहले कौन कंफर्म करता है कि उसको कवर मिल गया. Thank you, Manish Ji, for such a wonderful talk. Almost exactly 1.5 hours. मैं आपको बता दूं कि इतना लंबा टॉक सीरीज कोई नहीं चला है. This is the 6th in the series and very nice. और अटेंडेंस भी बहुत अच्छा रहा. Throughout 51 का बैच है. There are few guests. 50 के आसपास throughout attendance भी रहा है. So with this, I say goodbye and thank you very much for your support.
Cheers.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Now, Anil ji, आप recording वगैरह stop कर सकते हैं. Anil, are you there?
Yes, sir. Thank you.
So now take care of the closing ceremony. Thank you, guys. It was a